Hello and good evening. Welcome to episode 4 of Base Talk. Welcome. I will explain everything once everybody's here before we start, and then I'm not ignoring you. I have my tablet down here to set up so that I can see the comments, and I've got my laptop set up there for notes, and I got you, the viewers, right in front of me. It's good to have you here. Thanks for coming along. If you are here, feel free to say hello, give me a shout, tell me what you want to hear from me, not in the world. Well, you can tell me that if you like, but I'm not sure how much I've got to add. Welcome to those who are here. Thanks for coming along. Just get myself set up. It's just turned 1:15, so there's still time for people to arrive, to get here. I have my tablet set up down here for any comments you want to send in. And I have my laptop set up here for my notes, okay? So if you have any questions at any point now or during the talk, just fire away and I will be happy to answer. Otherwise, I'll just sort of continue on from where we spoke about last week. And there was somebody who asked if I could talk a little bit about recovery and rest, which is kind of funny because that's where this all started. Was I did a recovery-based talk / half workout in the living room, and that's kind of had just evolved to this, which is kind of a little bit of education for you guys, for me, for us, just to discuss exercise, training, food, nutrition, diets, health, happiness, all that kind of stuff. So tonight we're going to talk about training, recovery, and your game plan. So if you have any questions at any point, just fire away. Welcome to Catherine, good to have you with us. I will definitely touch upon the rest and recovery point that you brought up last week. Speaking of last week we mainly spoke about goals, discipline and motivation, and what we can do to create a big focus for ourselves. I'm not going to go into too much detail. That was last week, that was this week. But what is the common theme is that they all interlink in order to be successful. They don't have to, but if you want to be successful regularly, consistently, for a long period of time, then they all interlink. All being your diet, your nutrition, how you're eating, what you're eating, when you're eating it, your lifestyle, which is everything from what you work, how hard you work, to your training, your exercise, whatever that is, and sleeping habits, relationship habits, everything adds into one another. If you're doing 4 out of 5 things good, but one thing you're not doing well at all, perhaps you're working 8 a.m. till 6 p.m, you're coming home, you're doing a massive workout every night. You're eating well, but you're getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night. You're really putting yourself in a bad position for success. We've got to try and get as many avenues successful as we can for the best continued success. So the first thing we're going to start talking about is training, exercise, and which follows on from last week, because last week we spoke about goals. If you have a goal, whatever it may be, you need to train and work towards that goal. Whether it's running goals for a marathon or a half marathon or a 10K or whatever, or if it's a strength training goal, you want to get stronger in a certain lift, or even if it's just a general fitness goal. I want to improve my overall fitness to become happier, more confident, be able to chase the kids around the block or whatever it is. We need to have something in place to help us get there, So yeah, I would love to be able to deadlift 500 kilos like Eddie Hall can, but saying that I want to do it's not going to achieve anything. I have to put the effort in order to get there. So we have to look at our training. What kind of training do we need to do? To what intensity, what frequency, how many times per week, how hard do we need to push? It all depends on what you're trying to achieve, but it's still something we need to consider. And something within that is how much recovery we take. Recovery is within the workout. So if you're doing a strength workout, if let's say you're working on your back squat, you're doing a heavy back squat, you've got the barbell across your shoulders, and you're doing anywhere from 5 to 15 reps, depending on what your goal. If you're doing 5 sets of 5 to help develop hypertrophy strength, then you need to put in at least 90 seconds of recovery between each set. So recovery can mean 90 seconds between a set. Recovery can also mean a rest day. It's got quite a loose term, but it's important in every single aspect. If you're doing your 5x5 strength workout, but you try and do set 2 10 seconds after you finish set 1, you're never going to make it to set 5. The fatigue is just going to kick in too early, and you're not going to succeed in your lifts, and it's not going to help you progress towards your goal. Likewise, if you're training for a marathon, if you push too hard and you just run and run and run every minute of every day, you're going to burn out in a couple of days, maybe a week or two, and you're not going to get very far, which is not good for your goals, it's not good for your motivation, and it's not going to help you get to where you want to go. So we got to look at recovery. It's really important. We need to understand our training first, and then we need to look at recovery. As a very basic rule, when it comes to rest days, I recommend at least 1 full rest day per 7-day week. Rest day being no major physical activity, no weightlifting, no running, no big cycle rides, nothing massively intense. But a rest day could also be an active recovery kind of day. That could be a short, easy cycle, something with the kids or the family, or just something light to just stretch out the legs, recover off, or anything. It could be a stretching workout. It could be a yoga workout, something to work on your mobility. It could, if the swimming pools were open, it could be a nice, easy swim up and down the lanes for half an hour or something. It could be a trip to the sauna just to loosen off the muscles and joints. It could even be a trip to the sports therapist for a sports massage to loosen off the muscles or any sore bits that you may have. So rest days can be active recovery days, but they really have to be relaxed and focused for that benefit. Because I know for a lot of us it's tough. We're so focused on being active that a rest day can feel counterproductive to success. But if we don't, it will take time, but if we don't take recovery, we will run out of steam. We'll just burn out. We might even injure ourselves, and in which case we'll have to take time off, forced time off to recover from that before we can get back in. So yeah, we can go full pedal to the metal, 7 days a week, 2 workouts a day, no rest for about a month, 2 months, maybe longer. But eventually it'll catch up with us and it'll come back to bite us in the rear. So recoveries, rest days, absolutely essential for the long-term success, okay? Short-term pictures, it's hard to see why, but we got to think big picture, which was one of the things I mentioned last week was the big goals, the main focus. It's not necessarily about the here and the now, it's about down the line, you know? That can be in relation to food, you know? It's a double cheeseburger McMuffin Mac thing with extra large fries and a triple chocolate milkshake from McDonald's. What bad's that going to do me? Well, in the short term, not a lot. Might feel not very good for it, but it's not going to do you much damage. In the long term, if you're doing that regularly, it's going to come back and bite you in the bum, or more likely in the heart. But it's the big picture we got to look for. Rest days essential for long-term success to make sure we can keep going later in life. Another absolutely essential part of recovery is sleep. Okay, and good quality sleep. A lot of us all over the world right now are really struggling with sleep just because of the situation. Perhaps we're being forced to stay at home a little different. Our routines have changed, our exercise has changed, we're not getting ALF, we're not getting perhaps mentally stimulated as much as we are, so our brains are more active when we go to bedtime. But when we can, sleep is absolutely essential. There has been countless studies into how beneficial sleep can be. Now we're all different and some of us can't sleep more than others. I know my wife is not a particularly good sleeper. Quite often she will wake up in the morning, she was like, oh, I saw you at 12, 2 and 4, and I'd be like, dead to the world. You can't wake me up if there was an earthquake. But it's really something that, if possible, we should work on as well. And whether that is just creating a routine before bed, whether it's no iPhones, TV, no blue screens, half an hour before bed, or whether it's no caffeinated drinks after 3 p.m, or making sure you've eaten dinner, plenty of time to go to sleep, whatever it may be, create some kind of bedtime routine that helps you get into that habit. It's just like working out. If you work out sporadically, it's hard to create a habit. Whereas if you work out at 6 p.m. every Monday, come rain or shine, in time you'll create that habit and it'll be much easier to stick to. Sleeping's the same thing. It has the same effect. And hey, we've all been there before. You've had a bad night's sleep, or you've had a week's worth of bad night's sleep. Maybe you've been working hard, kids have been a riot, you've just not had any sleep. How do you feel? You wake up and you just want to punch somebody. You're grumpy, you're upset, you're not cooperating, you're not working as efficiently as possible. It's exactly the same as when it comes to exercise. If you're not slept well enough, your body's not going to perform, your head's not going to be in it, you're not going to be focused. And on top of that, if you're not sleeping and you're unhappy, do you really want to reach for a salad? No. You want to eat for a triple cheeseburger, bacon, sausage, milkshake, or whatever. So sleep, good for training, good for general life, really good for overall diet and health. So another thing to focus on. And how do we focus on these things? How many times? I mean, I'm 30 years old. How many nights of sleep is that? It's 365 days a year. Quick maths, what's 365 times 30? I have no idea. A lot. Stick a zero on the end? No, I don't know. A lot. So you should be good at it. But how do we know? I don't know. I'm very good at it. Not gonna lie. I'm a really good sleeper. Susie can qualify that. But same as a food diary. You know, if we're struggling with what we're eating, I give clients a food diary. Monday to Sunday, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, what you're drinking, what exercise you're doing. We map it out so we can see, bang, there's a whole week of what you're eating and what effect it's having on you. Then we can go, oh look, well that's not good, that's bad. That's pretty good though. So let's do some more of that and maybe less of that. Try it with your sleep. Put an extra column in the end. Track all your food, track what you're doing, track your sleep. How long you're sleeping for, what time you go to bed, what time you get up, and how you feel, and how long the sleep is. And then if you have a particularly good night, we can look back at that day and perhaps start to see a pattern. Well, you ate healthily, you did a nice workout, you ate plenty of time before you went to bed, your last coffee was at 2 o'clock, but you slept really well. The night before, you only got 4 hours of really disturbed sleep, but you worked until 8 p.m, then you did a workout, you had dinner at 9:30. No wonder you didn't sleep well. So it's creating that understanding that we can then replicate and to create better habits. It's the best way to learn about what we do and how it affects life, whether it's foods, sleep, training. If you put it down in a big picture over a week or longer, it helps that understanding and it create into a habit. And it will show you how important a rest day is and how sleep is important to it as well. So the last thing I want to touch on is your game plan. Okay, so we know we need to eat well. We know we need to train well. We need to train specifically for whatever our goal is that we've already set. And we need to include rest days. How are we going to make that into a game plan? What are you going to do? I don't want you to answer this now. I want you to write it down on a bit of paper. I want you to say, think about it. Write it down. What are you going to do to help you achieve your goal? Are you going to take my food diary, make it a little bit different, add a sleep column, follow it for a week or 2 weeks and see what we can change to make it better? Or are you going to take a rest day? Are you going to do some more active rest? Are you going to try and focus on better sleeping? Are you try and focus on a more better eating regime? Whatever it is, mark it down. Feel free to send it to me on here or in a private message if you want to share, and we can discuss it. Elizabeth has said the importance of fresh air, even if not exercising outdoors, without a shadow of a doubt. Perhaps not today, unless you're as hardcore as my father-in-law Joe, who went golfing anyway. But yeah, fresh air is absolutely essential. Not just fresh air, but some form of daylight. Even on today when it's a bit grey and dark and there's not much vitamin D coming through the clouds, that daylight, it just sparks so many good hormones in the body. It just makes us feel better. The fresh air on our skin, it'll lift us, it'll make us feel much more positive. I know we've been told to stay indoors a lot for the past 3 months. Have we been doing this? Long time. And it can be easy just to get lazy, to sit down on the sofa, even especially so when it's raining. But get outside, get some fresh air, even if it's just standing in the street or in the garden or whatever you've got available to you. Breathing in that fresh air, getting some space in your head, some outside world, makes everything a whole lot better. And that can be part of your active recovery, is a nice long walk outside. It's a chance to get the blood flowing, get the major muscles in the body moving, but at a low heart rate, a low intensity, and it will help you clear your mind. So yeah, getting outside, exercise or otherwise, just for a walk or even sitting in the sun, maybe not necessarily sunbathing with a cold gin and tonic or something, but get outside and actively be in the moment and use the fresh air to your advantage is definitely important. So, training. What is your training for? What kind of training are you doing? Is it working towards a goal that you've already set? Is your goal SMART? Is it specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timed? See 2 weeks ago if you won't need to recover that one. What is your training focusing on? And are you including enough rest and recovery, both within your workouts and after your workout / the whole week? Are you eating well enough? Are you sleeping well enough? Do we need to track this to see if we are? Do we need to speak to somebody who knows more about it? Do we need to go and see a sports therapist to make sure our muscles are not getting too tight, our joints aren't too tight? Do we need to make sure we're nice and loose? Have we got an injury that we've had for a while that we haven't had addressed that we should probably go and see somebody about? Maybe, I don't know. And what's your game plan? Write it down. Stick your goal down on a bit of paper. Even if it's a goal you've had for a while, maybe we've had to take a step back from reaching that goal over the past 3 months because of the situation. But if it's still a goal, write it down and let's have a look at that game plan that you're going to create. Help you get towards that goal and then beyond. Final thing I'm going to say, along with good sleep, is that 90% of us do not drink enough water. The body is something 60% or is it 80%? It's a lot of percent. It's way over half. 60% or more water, okay? So if we're not drinking enough, but we're still exercising, we're still getting out, we're still sweating, you're just not going to perform at your highest. Something like a 3% drop in your body's hydration levels can have up to a 10% drop in performance ability. So we got to make sure we're well topped up with fluids. Tea and coffee does count because the diuretic effect of the caffeine in tea and coffee, as long as it's a fairly large mug, does not have an impact on the water that is in the tea or coffee. Unless you're having something like an espresso where the caffeine per amount of water that you're having is quite a high ratio. However, water on its own is ideal. A little bit of squash or diluting juice or something in there is okay, but water on its own is ideal. So drink more water. It's something you can track in your weekly diary. Really essential to good success. So we're going to call it a day there. And I want you to do some homework. You can keep the homework to yourself. Hey, you don't even have to do it. If you want to say, Ian, no, I don't believe you, go away, the earth is flat. Then fine, be like that. I don't mind. Just throwing some suggestions out there. Things that I've tried in the past, things I've studied in the past, things that kind of work. Take it on yourself. Have a look at your training, have a look at your recovery, consider how much rest you're getting in, make yourself a game plan and track it. I can send every food diary again, it's somewhere on the page, I put it up a month or two ago. Monday to Sunday, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, exercise, how you feel, and sleep. Do that for a week and you'll have so much information that we can work towards to help create a better, happier, fitter you. Cool? Catherine has said, fill a water bottle in the morning. I tell all my patients this, you are far more likely to drink it than you are to fill a glass. That is correct. So Susie's water bottle is right next to mine. Hers is smaller than mine. Mine is also pink. Hers is green. Fill a water bottle and carry it with you. I really quite like these ones because they're easy to drink out of and they're also quite hygienic because the lid is sealed. Yeah, and on top of that, you know that these are, you know how much fluid is in your water bottle. I think this is 500 ml. So if you have one of these, you've had half a litre. If you've had 4 of these, you've had 2 litres. And 2 litres is a pretty good amount. So yeah, definitely take a water bottle with you. Preferably a reusable one to help save the planet. But you know, if needs be, then a single-use bottle will do just fine. Yeah, water is essential. So there we go. That's what we're going to call it a wrap on today's base talk. Thank you very much for participating, asking me some questions, and throwing some good ideas. Fresh air and water, 2 really important things that we need. So if you want to share your game plan, if you want to talk it over, send me a message, either public, private, email me, phone me, whatever, and we can talk it further. If you have any suggestions for subjects for next week, fire away. More than happy to talk about pretty much anything at all. Otherwise, I think it's dinner time. We're having turkey bolognese. We're just trying a little different. It's cheaper, it's healthier than beef. But yeah, that's it. Go and enjoy your dinner, and we'll speak to you soon. Thanks, Catherine. Thanks, Elizabeth and Joe. We'll see you soon. Bye.